In a world of chaos, there is only one thing you can control: your mind.
I have a question for you, and I want you to be brutally honest with yourself. Have you ever walked away from a conversation feeling wrong? You couldn't put your finger on it. You didn't argue, you didn't fight, but suddenly you felt guilty for something you didn't do, or you felt confused about something you know is true. Or worse, you found yourself agreeing to something you absolutely hated, and you have no idea how you got there. It felt like a mental fog, didn't it? Here is the terrifying truth. You didn't just have a conversation, you were hacked. You were the victim of a specific type of psychological warfare used by manipulators, narcissists, and pathological liars. They don't use weapons, they use questions. Innocent-sounding trapdoor questions designed to bypass your logic and hijack your emotions. Most people think liars just make false statements. That's amateur hour. A master manipulator doesn't tell you what to think. They ask you a question that forces you to manipulate yourself. And if you don't know the code, you will fall for it every single time. But today, we are going to break that code. We are going to look at the 4 specific questions that liars use to dismantle your reality. And we are going to use the ancient, unshakable wisdom of Stoicism, specifically the fortress of the mind concept from Marcus Aurelius and Epictetus, to make you immune to their games. By the end of this video, you won't just be able to spot a liar, you will be the one person they are terrified to talk to because their tricks won't work on you. Are you ready to take your power back? Let's enter the mind of the manipulator. Trap question number 1. Why are you being so sensitive? The reality eraser. Let's start with the most common weapon in their arsenal, the gaslight grenade. You confront someone. Maybe they were late. Maybe they made a rude joke. Maybe they crossed a boundary. You express reasonable frustration, and they look you dead in the eye, smile a little, and ask, "Wow, why are you being so sensitive?" Variations, "Can't you take a joke? Why are you making this such a big deal?" The psychology of the trap. This is not a question. It is an accusation disguised as curiosity. The manipulator is doing something called reframing the narrative. In 1 second, they have shifted the topic from their bad behavior to your reaction. Suddenly, the problem isn't that they insulted you. The problem is that you are broken, you are flawed, you are too emotional. If you answer this question, if you start defending yourself, saying, "I'm not sensitive, it just hurt my feelings," you have already lost. You are now on trial defending your sanity, and they are the judge. The Stoic shield. The Stoics, especially Epictetus, spoke about the concept of the sovereign mind. He taught that another person's opinion of you is none of your business. Epictetus said, "If someone tells you that you are bad, simply reply, 'He does not know my other faults,' or he would not have mentioned only these." He means, do not engage in the defense, do not accept their frame. How to respond, the unshakable pivot. Do not answer the sensitive question. Instead, use what I call the Stoic mirror. You reflect the reality back to them without emotion. You look at them calmly and say, "I'm not discussing my sensitivity, I'm discussing your disrespect. Let's stay on that topic." See the difference? You refused to pick up the bait. You kept the spotlight exactly where it belongs, on their action. Trap question number 2. Don't you trust me? The character hijack. This one is insidious. It usually happens when you catch them in a lie, or when you ask for proof, or when you set a boundary. They will put on a hurt face. maybe even squeeze out a tear and whisper, "After everything we've been through, don't you trust me?" The psychology of the trap. This is a trap of moral obligation. They are equating blind obedience with love. They are setting a binary trap. Option A, you trust them completely and stop asking questions. Option B, you don't trust them, which means you are a bad partner, friend, or person. It creates immediate guilt. You don't want to be the bad guy, so you back down. You say, no, of course I trust you, and you stop looking for the truth. The Stoic shield. The Stoics were obsessed with objective truth. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The only thing worth seeking is truth. If anyone can prove me wrong, I shall gladly change." To a Stoic, trust is not a feeling. Trust is a result of consistent action. Trust is earned, not demanded. A person who is telling the truth loves being fact-checked because they have nothing to hide. Only a liar gets offended when you ask for proof. How to respond? The logic razor. You need to separate trust from verification. When they ask, "Don't you trust me?" you stay clinically calm. You don't get angry. You simply say, "Trust is not the issue here. Clarity is the issue. If what you're saying is true, my questions won't change that. So let's look at the facts together." You strip the emotion out of it. You make it about facts. A manipulator cannot survive in a room devoid of emotion. They need your guilt to function. Don't give it to them. Trap question number 3. Who else thinks that? The isolation tactic. You bring up a concern. Maybe you tell your boss the workload is too high, or you tell your partner they are being controlling, and they lean back, look confused, and ask, "Really? Who else thinks that?" Because no one else has ever complained. The psychology of the trap. This is social proof manipulation. They are trying to make you feel like an anomaly, a freak, the only crazy person in the room. They want you to think, maybe I'm the problem. Maybe everyone else is fine and I'm just broken. The Stoic shield. Seneca was brilliant on this. He warned against the madness of the crowd. He said, "We should not be like sheep following the flock in front of us. We must choose the right path, not the most traveled one." A Stoic does not need a consensus to know the truth. If 1,000 people say 2 + 2 = 5, the Stoic stands alone and says, "No, it is 4." Your reality does not require a vote. How to respond? The sovereign stance. Do not try to name other people. Do not say, "Well, Sarah thinks so too." If you do that, they will just attack Sarah. Instead, you own your reality completely. You say, "It doesn't matter who else thinks it. I think it, and I am bringing it to you." That is enough. This is a power move. You are telling them, "My perception is valid simply because it exists. I do not need a witness to validate my experience." Watch them crumble when they realize you don't need the herd to feel safe. Trap question number 4. So you think I'm a terrible person? The all or nothing nuke. This is their final weapon, the nuclear option. When they are cornered, when you have won the argument, when they have no logical escape, they will throw their hands up and scream, "Fine, you're right. I ruin everything. So you just think I'm a monster, don't you? You think I'm the worst person in the world?" The psychology of the trap. This is called the victimhood flip. They are taking your specific complaint, e.g., "you didn't do the dishes," and blowing it up into an attack on their entire existence. "I am a monster." Why? Because it forces you to comfort them. Suddenly, you stop being angry and start saying, No, baby, you're not a monster. I love you. I didn't mean it." Boom. They won. The dishes are forgotten, and now you are apologizing to them. It is genius, dark manipulation. The Stoic shield. The Stoics practiced emotional continence. They did not allow others to drag them into emotional storms. Marcus Aurelius visualized himself as a rock in the ocean. The waves crash over him, screaming and foaming, but the rock does not move. The rock does not apologize for being a rock. How to respond? The gray rock method. Do not comfort them. Do not validate their tantrum. Do not argue with their exaggeration. You bring it right back to the specific action. You say, "I never said you were a monster. I said you crossed a boundary. Please don't change the subject to your character. We are talking about your actions." And then, and this is key, you walk away. Conclusion: building the fortress. Let's bring this home. The manipulator relies on one thing: your fear. Fear of being sensitive, fear of being distrusting, fear of being alone, fear of being mean. They use these questions to pick the locks of your mind. Stoicism is the new lock. When you practice Stoicism, you realize that your mind is a fortress. You decide who enters. You decide what is true. You decide how you feel. The next time someone asks you one of these 4 trap questions, I want you to smile. Not an arrogant smile, a calm, stoic smile. Because you recognize the game and you are no longer playing. Here is my challenge to you. In the next 24 hours, pay attention. Listen to the questions people ask you. Are they asking for information or are they asking for submission? And when you hear one of these traps, do not defend, do not explain. Pivot, reflect, and stand your ground. Tell me in the comments which of these 4 questions have you heard the most, which one triggers you the most. Let's talk about it. Stay stoic, stay unshakable, and I will see you in the next one.